ball is.
Thanks for joining us. Time to get ready for NBA action on 2K Sports. It's Tuesday Hoops, and it's next. It's going to be the New York Knicks up against Kobe Bryant and the LA Lakers. And now let's turn it over to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke at the arena. I'll have more for you at halftime.
We'll see the New York Knicks taking on the Los Angeles Lakers. And we hope you're having a great Tuesday. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA on 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan. Joining me this evening, as always, Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. And now, the New York Knicks starters. Melo and Amari at the forward slots. Phillips and Fields pairing up in the backcourt. And it's Turioff in at the 5, roaming the paint. And for the Lakers, Artest and Powell in the forward slots. Fisher and Kobe man in the backcourt. And it's Bynum in at the center.
And the Knicks last season did not use their bench very often. Kind of typical of a Mike D'Antoni team. He relies heavily on his starters, and that was the case a year ago.
It'll be the Knicks off the tip. The 3, and Landry Fields good for 3. Fields has got his first 3 points of the game. Steve, back to what you were saying about that New York Knicks bench. You know, a big part of that was they were so short-handed. Remember Clark when they got that trade, trying to, bring Melo up to speed on what they were doing?
No question. I mean, it got to Melo that trade, but it also left a few players tired because they lost some of their bench depth. Could have been why they saw so many late-season injuries as players were maybe a bit worn out. You think about Chauncey Billups going down late. Interesting discussion.
And Billups gets it to go.
Seems like that finger roll just comes naturally to him. Great touch.
Here's Kobe. Knocks it down from 19 feet.
Tell you what, there's not much he can't do out there, guys.
And here is Billups. Now Fields. Stoudemire left side. 6 on the shot clock. New York needs to get off a shot. The 3 from Billups. A rebound by Kobe Bryant.
Well, Chauncey Billups, a very productive season a year ago. He's not the player he once was. He's still a guy who will step out, take a big shot, run his team well, and show great leadership.
And Doris Burke spoke with Mike D'Antoni. Doris?
We talked about their offensive game plan, and he hinted that they'll be displaying a lot of different looks in their offensive sets. He said in order to beat a team with this kind of defense, they'll have to keep things fresh, keep them guessing each time they come down the floor. Guys?
Thanks for getting back to us on that report, Doris. Guys?
You know, it's really important not to be afraid of the defense over there. I mean, you can't be playing in a fearful fashion. You just got to pick your spots and execute.
Yeah, and be aggressive. You know, you're right, Clark. You can't be intimidated by the speed and strength of this defense. You got to have confidence to take your shots when they're there and attack the lanes when you've got an opportunity.
And the Lakers with some changes. Lamar Odom is checked in for Bynum, and Matt Barnes is subbed in for Ron Artest. Jared Jeffries, he's checked in for the Knicks. Walker comes in for Landry Fields. And you're right, Steve. You know, Billups did show leadership, and he did deal with some injury issues last season, too. Some torn ligaments in his wrist, Clark, an injured knee in the playoffs. The injuries did slow him down.
Yeah, and a lot of people would make the automatic jump that because he was injured and he's getting older, that those two things are connected, and going forward, you got to worry about it. Sure, you got to consider his age, but he's a great shooter. He's a terrific leader. He's a championship caliber player. And if he's healthy, he's still got some really good basketball left in him, because, again, he's one of those guys whose game isn't predicated on overwhelming athleticism. It's about smarts, toughness, skill. And if your body's good, you can play that game a long time. I tell you what, you watch this guy put it in the basket, and his scoring ability can just astound you at times.
Now here's Kobe. Tight defense on him. That doesn't go in either for Kobe. The Knicks with the lead.
Well, you know, a recent stat said that in the last 15 years, the Lakers are on average the best offense in the NBA. But in crunch time, ironically, they fall to around 12th best offensive. Not nearly as effective.
With the shot. Again, the Lakers. 1:15 left here in the first quarter. Going back to the Lakers, and they're let down as far as crunch time offense goes. Good point by you. Steve, you take it now. Why do you think that's so?
Well, I think Kobe's not the player that he once was, Kevin. I mean, he's not as athletic. He's not as capable as he used to be getting shots off against any type of defense. And I think the rest of the guys maybe lost a little confidence in themselves as a result.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here.
Well, this is a Knicks team that has been built through free agency and trades. Of course, when you're in New York, you're a very attractive destination for free agents. And that's why they have gone that route rather than through the draft.
Andrew Bynum's checked in for the Lakers. Blake comes in for Derek Fisher. Now here's Douglas. Here's the screen. Goes up the baseline, and that one's good. Never easy to trade picks away, as you were saying, Steve, but the Knicks, Clark made up for it last year by having Fields in that second round.
Yeah, that was a big get. I mean, a really nice second-round pick for him, Kevin. The Knicks didn't draft Tony Douglas, but traded for him cheap, too. So even with moving their high picks, they still added some pretty good talent.
Johnny Walsh doing a pretty good job.
He's one of the best, has been for a long time.
Yes, sir. The Knicks leading by 3. Here is Jeffries. Here's Stuck, and the slam dunk by Stoudemire. Brought to you by Sprite, the Sprite Slam Cam on the replay.
There isn't anybody in the building that didn't appreciate that throwdown.
Well, Steve, that's as fancy a finish as you could possibly get.
A serious degree of difficulty on that one.
Blake passes to Kobe. Dishes it to Bynum. Douglas against Kobe. Amari Stoudemire with the rebound. And the officials call over the back. A little too aggressive there.
Well, he was boxed out, nowhere to go. So poor choice in going over the back.
You said it exactly. He didn't have good position. Give up on the play, try to get the next one.
And he makes the first. He hits both from the stripe. Lakers trail by 7. Blocked. Out of bounds. And they'll keep possession. Here's Bynum, looking for his first bucket of the game. Here's Brown. And again, the Lakers, no good. Gets it off. The scoring fast and furious as we end the first quarter. Knicks lead by 7.
And the difference to this point has been defense. This club has really gotten after it, and that's what's gotten them this lead.
Well, there's nothing that's gone up that hasn't been contested so far.
And we'll get back to the action right after this. All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. Here's Blake. So with Billups on the bench, here's the 5 for Mike D'Antoni right now. Douglas and Fields, they're manning the backcourt. Turieff out there with Anthony, and it's Williams at the 3 spot. Out of bounds, and they retain possession. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Kevin, Kobe Bryant, one of the best shooting guards in NBA history. But when asked what he wanted his legacy to be, he said, quote, "When my career is over, I want them to think of me as an overachiever despite the talent I have. Hopefully, they perceive me as a person who did whatever he had to do to win above all else, above anything, above stats. If they say that about me, I'll be happy." And fellas, with his work ethic, it doesn't seem like a stretch.
No doubt about that. Thank you, Doris.
Well, Kobe, obviously a guy with so much natural ability, but with his renowned work ethic, not to mention the 5 titles. I think he is a guy who did a great job of realizing his vast potential.
Here's Douglas. Lamar Odom picking up that last basket.
Well, not the best defensive scheme, and it results in a wide-open look.
You know, I think in Tony Douglas, the Knicks got a great find in the 2009 draft. He was the 29th pick. Pretty gutty defender, but a terrific scorer.
Now, here's Brown. Still looking to get on the scoreboard.
What a steal. That's some excellent defense right there.
Goes up.
Shooting for New York, Tony Douglas. 2 shots.
That free throw good from Douglas. And the Lakers with some changes. Gasol comes in for Lamar Odom. And Derek Fisher is subbed in for Steve Blake. And a switch here also for New York. Stoudemire's checked in for Carmelo Anthony. Lakers trailed by 10. They've definitely hit that groove offensively.
They sure have, guys. I mean, really aggressive. And I like that posture and mindset. Stay aggressive.
Yeah. Steve, you like groove, don't you?
I do. I love groove, Kevin, and I love the attack mode this team is in, too. I mean, they're really getting into the paint. They're getting whatever they want offensively.
Here is Douglas. He's got 5.
You know, for so long we've seen the Lakers coast into the playoffs, put themselves in a tight spot, and then find a way out of it. But in that series versus Dallas in last season's playoffs, they really looked like a tired and overmatched team.
Now, here is Fields. 4 on the shot clock. Launches it. No good. And it's the Lakers taking it the other way. For the Lakers, Kobe said, Clark, after that series, we've been playing with fire the last 3 years. Now we finally got what we deserve. Steve, that is a very interesting quote. Take it apart for us and delve into it.
Well, I think the Lakers had been to the finals for 3 straight years, and I think they were worn out emotionally. And for a couple of those playoff series over the years, they did play with fire and get away with it. Not last year. Dallas just destroyed them, and I think the Lakers just looked tired, both physically and mentally.
Lamar Odom is checked in for the Lakers. Kobe comes in for Shannon Brown. Then for the Knicks, Jared Jeffries. He's checked in for Turia. Anthony comes in for Sean Williams. And Chauncey Billups is subbed in for Tony Douglas.
What a steal for the Knicks a year ago, finding Landry Fields in the 2nd round. He had a fantastic season, made the all-rookie team, and a really good all-around player. Rebounder, defender, and can make it.
A replay here, the Sprite Slam Cam showing us how it's done.
Come on now, I didn't see. Can you believe that finish? Boy, a little bit of flair and flavor at the end of it.
Oh, that'll be a fan favorite, all right.
That was not your average, typical dunk.
Billups against Fisher. Fisher against Billups. Knocked away. Out of bounds. They'll keep possession. Here's Anthony looking for his first bucket of the game. New York, no good that time either.
Well contested shot there.
And that's the key defensively. You've got to make them work for it, challenge every shot.
Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris.
Well, Kevin, a rare early exit from the playoffs by the Los Angeles Lakers spurred some talk that perhaps they might blow up their core, and specifically their post players. But General Manager Mitch Kupchak said that wasn't the case and stressed the importance of bigs, saying talented big players are always at a premium. Guys, doesn't look like those players are going anywhere anytime soon. Back to you.
Always great to hear from you, Doris.
The Lakers went out on a bad note, but I agree with the decision to not blow up the roster. Keep it together for a bit.
Well, I kind of like it, guys, that they didn't make major moves. I mean, remember, this is an extremely talented team. They were probably very tired from their championship runs 3 years in a row. So I think it makes sense. Let them recharge their batteries, come back together, and see if they can make another run this year.
Lets it fly. Connects from 13 feet out. Anthony's got his first points of the night.
I'll Tell you what, he's made more than a few of those in his career.
Here's Gasol, and down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
He put that lead pass in perfect position for his teammate.
Here's Billups. 1:19 left here in the second.
I tell you what, the Knicks are not a team that puts fear into you when they hit the road. But they weren't the same pushovers they were in the years past.
Time call here. The Knicks decide to talk it over. Brought up the Knicks on the road, 19-22 last season.
Now, that's a huge leap over what they did in the pre-Amari Melo days when they were really, really struggling on the road. So a big step for the Knicks last season. Let's see if they can capitalize this year and make even more improvement.
Anthony left side. 13 feet out. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. Anthony's got 4 points this quarter.
In the first, he had trouble hitting with any consistency. But here in the second, he's turned it around.
Here's Blake, who's guarded by Billups. Just his first attempt. Bynum, no good.
Not the smartest shot in the world there.
Got to use your head out here. You can't just play. You've got to think about it a little bit, too.
Well, there are a lot of good closers in the NBA, but for my money, Carmelo Anthony is the best guy in the fourth quarter when you absolutely need a bucket.
And Steve just talked about Carmelo Clark as a clutch scorer. Stats back him up. The game on the line. There are few better in the league in doing that.
I would put him right at the very top of the list, too, top 2 or 3, because he can get it over you. He can get it around you. He can do it with his back to the basket. He can do it from the three-point line. And he's a really good free throw shooter. I mean, he is really one of the premier scorers in our league without question. Boy, I tell you, the Lakers are always tough on their home court. I mean, visiting teams can get a little starstruck, too. I mean, all kinds of celebrities hanging out in the crowd. There's as many famous people watching as actually playing in the game when you go play the Lakers. Well, I tell you what, guys, his stroke. Whoa! Well, he took that one to the rack with some purpose.
I'll say beautiful dunk there, Steve.
Yeah, how about the agility? Just the power and the skill, impressive.
Here's Kobe. He's got 9. The kick out to Odom. The dish to Blake. To the middle. Over Walker. Again, the miss by Kobe.
That's an unusual, surprising miss for him. Typically, he's good on those inside.
And we finished one half of basketball. More from Los Angeles after this.
Your Lakers, 18. The Knicks.
Glad to have you with us this Tuesday night for the HP Halftime Report. New York leading against the Lakers out at Staples Center. They've been drawing fouls, making their free throws count. That's always a key to success. Their top scorer, Carmelo Anthony. He has 6 points, added 3 rebounds as well. For the Lakers, though, not the same story. They've launched 3 after 3, but it looks more like a bricklayers convention. Shannon Brown has not had a good showing. His shooting woes have been well documented, and the camera crew is in here shooting it again tonight. And that'll do it. Let's get you out to the second half, about to start at Staples Center.
And we return to the Staples Center. There you see it here in downtown LA. Welcome back, everyone. Here's Fisher. Artest, Gasol, and Bynum are the front court. Fisher and Kobe man the backcourt. That's who's in the game for the Lakers. For 3, Kobe, and that comes off the assist by Derek Fisher. Kobe's got the first points in the second half here for the Lakers. Billups kicks to Turioff. Back to Billups. Good ball movement. Anthony backing him down. Gasol with the defensive effort.
You know, his reputation is such that you'd be surprised with him missing any layup opportunities.
It's Kobe Bryant on the wing. Fields covering. Kobe. That's good. Kobe's got 14 points for the game. The Knicks leading by 8. Shot by Stoudemire. And yes, a nice assist from Billups. 8 points for Stoudemire. Here's Kobe. Jams it straight down.
Very productive game for him, but he's going to have to get some help from his teammates if they're going to win.
Billups against Fisher. Gasol against Stoudemire. Right side Billups. 6 to shoot. Offline with his 3.
And Andrew Bynum, a guy who has been hit with injuries throughout his career. But when he's healthy, the Lakers are so tough to beat because of the length and size that Bynum and Gasol provide for that front line.
Here's Billups. Cans it from short range. Billups has got 6. Lakers trailed by 10. Kobe gets to Gasol. Guarded by Stoudemire. Gasol dishes to Artest. Fields with the steal.
He really didn't have the room there to make that pass, guys.
Anthony, the pass to Fields. And there's the pass to Stoudemire. Fisher against Billups. That's tipped. It's Fields outside. The offensive rebound. And it's Stoudemire with the jam. He's got 10.
Well, they haven't had to ask him to do too much, but he's doing whatever's needed out there.
Here's Kobe. 16 points for him. Kicks it to Fisher. He's guarded by Billups. Out to Kobe. It's up a 3. And Turioff pulls it down. The Knicks leading by 12.
Well, you know, after the long playoff drought, the Knicks were finally back in the postseason last year. Did not quite turn out the way they hoped it would, but still, you got to think something to build on.
That's good. 18 points for Kobe Bryant. A minute 50 left in the third quarter. New York calls timeout. And some changes here for the Lakers. Lamar Odom is checked in for Bynum, and it's Brown in for Kobe. Then for the Knicks, Jared Jeffries. He's checked in for Turioff, and it's Walker in for Landry Fields. Here's Stoudemire. He's got 10. A 10-footer. A rebound by Gasol. Gasol's got 4 rebounds in this game. Yeah, back in the Knicks-Celtics series, Steve, the Knicks were swept, but they were hurt in a big way by injuries. Earlier, Clark was talking about the injured point guard Chauncey Billups. He was a big missing piece.
Yeah, he was gone after game 1. Remember, Amari Stoudemire hurt his back in game 2 and wasn't the same at that point. You keep those guys healthy, and I think that's a much more competitive series. Well, using his height advantage against the much smaller man, that was the right play to make there.
And Fisher kicks it to Odom. Passes it to Brown. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
I thought Shannon Brown made so much improvement last season, guys. He scored well, and he worked really hard to improve his weaknesses, which were his ball handling and his outside shooting, so he became much more of a complete player.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time.
Steve, I agree with you in terms of Shannon Brown's improvement, how hard he worked on those weak areas, handling the ball better, working more on his shot. I mean, the physical gifts were always there. Strong, tremendously athletic. I give him a lot of credit for working to make the most of that natural ability that he has.
You can't fault what he's been doing out there. Some really impressive shooting.
Pass to Artest. Outside Odom. Launches a 3. Rebound by Anthony. Anthony's got 4 rebounds in this game. And he stepped in the line, so they turn it over.
That's as bad a miscue as you'll see. It's good to be thinking a few steps ahead, but you've got to maintain some type of current awareness, too.
And some changes here for the Lakers. Bynum comes in for Pau Gasol. And Kobe is subbed in for Derek Fisher. And then for New York, Sean Williams checks in for Carmelo Anthony. And Tony Douglas is subbed in for Chauncey Billups. Kobe dishes to Artest. Back to Kobe. Straight up. Oh, that's blocked. Here comes Tony Douglas. It's a 14-point game. Stoudemire the pass to Williams. From outside, off the mark. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Amari Stoudemire having a dominant impact in this game.
And a lot of the second chances that this team has gotten have come because of his hard work underneath.
Steve, he's scrapping and fighting and positioning down there and doing everything he can within the...
As the fourth quarter gets rolling here, let's check out our Sprite Spark of the Game, presented by Sprite. Hey, Doris.
Hey, Kevin, well, our spark of the game goes to the Knicks for that major surge. They look like an entirely different team on the defensive end following halftime. When they came out of the locker room with a new level of intensity, that is how they got control and jumped out in front in this one.
Great stuff as always, Doris. Thank you. Clark, that was the game's critical point.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I really think it was. I mean, it really tipped things in their favor. No doubt about it.
Now, that's going to happen to you when you keep piling up those points and you get on a run like that.
All right, now a chance to set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. Fourth quarter action, all fueled up and ready to go. On the court for the Knicks, Jeffrey's out there with Sean Williams. Then there's Chauncey Billups. Then there's Tony Douglas. And it's Walker in at the 3 slot. So it's the Lakers now, following the basket by Chauncey Billups. Picked up by Brown. Three-pointer. Shot's good by Walker.
Oh, I like the fluidity I'm seeing from them on offense. It's a thing of beauty. Fun to watch.
Yeah, it is. They're moving the ball well, finding the open.
And he puts it down with authority. Sprite slam cam for another angle.
Well, that's a dunk you will not see very often. You won't pass that one by.
No doubt about that.
I wish he would, though. You can never see too many of those.
Bryant gets the whistle for blocking. That'll be his second foul of the game.
I think he made the right call there. It's always a bang-bang play, but I don't think the defense had position.
You know, blocking fouls are never easy to whistle, but that one definitely looked like a block to me.
Catching up on the changes for New York, Sheldon Williams checks in for Sean Williams. Mason comes in for Tony Douglas. And Anthony Carter subbed in for Chauncey Billups. Carter against Brown. Bynum with the steal.
For the most part, they're doing a nice job of taking care of the ball, though.
Oh, and the jam by Kobe Bryant.
Defense wasn't able to get back fast enough to contest.
Well, they were caught flat-footed after committing the turnover that time, guys.
Here is Carter. Picked up by Brown. Here's Mason. That one falls, coming off Carter's feed. And the Knicks lead by 18. And here's the Lakers. They trail by 18. The shot by Kobe, no good.
I like that. Trying to respond to that last three-pointer, but he couldn't get it to go.
Williams kicks to Carter. Mason. That one falls, coming off Carter's feed. Mason's got 6 in the quarter.
That's 9 straight points coming off 3 three-pointers. The defense is getting shelled.
Steve, the threes are killing them. I think they've got to find a way to chase them off the three-point line.
A platoon swap here for the Lakers. Here's Blake. Shot from free throw range. And that one's good from Fisher. Here is Carter. Oh, tried to dunk it home, but drew the foul, and it'll go to the line.
Guys, 21-9 were the Lakers last season against the Eastern Conference. They've been within a game of that record for the last 4 seasons. That's really consistently impressive.
First free throw is good. You look at the teams in the East, not many who can match the length that the Lakers possess up front. What am I saying? There are a few teams in the entire league that can match that kind of length, Steve.
Yeah, the Twin Towers, Bynum and Gasol, really the Lakers' trump card. I mean, I think that's the key to this club. They've got to take advantage of those two guys this year, beat people up down on the block and on the glass. And if they can improve their defensive work on the perimeter, this could be a great team.
Kick it out! Kick it out!
Blake with it. He feeds it to Artest. Shoots over Walker. Offline with the baseline jumper. The Knicks leading by 21. Carter outside. Anthony backing him down. Here's Stoudemire. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up. That's on Derek Fisher.
You know, looking at Amari's numbers from last year, he had career highs in points per game, and that was even as he was being the focal point of opposing teams' defenses.
And making a change here, the Knicks. Williams has checked in. And he can't hit the second. You're right, Clark, going back to Amari. He took 19 shots a game, but was still able to keep his field goal percentage over 50%.
Well, it's not easy to do when you're seeing so many double teams. And now that Carmelo Anthony is going to be on the Knicks full-time for a full season, I think you'll see Amari with even more room to work with on offense.
Ron Artest. His second person.
Well, under Mike D'Antoni, you know you're going to have one of the best offenses in the league, and that was certainly the case with the Knicks a year ago. They finished second in the NBA in scoring.
And Clark, back to the Knicks scoring. You know, Mike D'Antoni was really brought over to develop that run-and-gun style we saw for so many successful seasons in Phoenix.
Yeah, I'd like to see him win a championship with it. It has not happened yet, but there's no doubt the Knicks have been much more competitive under Mike D'Antoni's watch, and frankly, they're more exciting as well. We'll see what happens going forward.
Here's Kobe. Sinks it from just inside the baseline. Kobe's got 15 points in just the second half. Fisher against Carter. Over Gasol.
Turnover. LA ball.
Timeout called the Lakers. They're losing by 22. A minute 42 left in the fourth quarter.
It's no secret what a Mike D'Antoni team is going to do against you. I mean, they're going to get it up and down the floor and try to score as fast as they can on you. I mean, that's who they are. The formula that's going to get you wins, but will it see them to a title?
A minute 42 left here in the fourth quarter. They grab their own miss. Kobe.
Get to the block, Lamar!
Over Mason. Kobe Bryant again. Kobe's got 8 points in the quarter. Back to what you said about Mike D'Antoni, that seems to be a valid question about his style. Steve, what do you think?
Well, it's been a long time since a team based solely on offense has actually won a title. But, you know, they're going to score a lot of points with Carmelo and Amari Stoudemire. But if anybody can break through and win a title playing that style, it's Mike D'Antoni.
Williams gets the bucket.
Yeah, this is a done deal here. They've pretty much finished this team off.
Yep, we can put this one in the books. Too much to overcome now.
The high post shot. And again, Kobe Bryant. Kobe's got 28. Smooth sailing for New York. The biggest lead of the game was 24 points. Lets it go from deep. And again, New York with the triple.
That's probably going to do it. They are just putting this team away.
Steve, I thought they caught fire just at the right time, blowing this one wide open as the clock winds down.
Carter outside. Over Fisher. And Bynum pulls it down.
And not really the guy you want taking that shot there.
Over Williams. Walker with the rebound. And the Knicks with the ball. Clark, and they can just let the clock run out here.
No argument with that W.
Just 2 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Williams gets the bucket.
Looks like it's over. Double-digit margin, clock running down. Just take care of the ball now.
Yep, it's a simple equation. This one's over. Use the clock and take care of the orange.
Shoots off the step back. Shot's good by Kobe. So no problem for New York as they get the win. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys might want to watch the tape of this game the next time they have a bad night to remind themselves how dominant they can be.
Well, this is one of those dreamlike games for a coach.
Well, it's time to say so long. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan, along with our 2K Sports crew, thanking you for tuning in. Now it's time to present our Jordan Player of the Game, Amari Stoudemire.